All right, so I was a student at C.S.U.M.B, and I'm taking a class that pretty much is like a community service class. I forget the actual term. And so, anyways, the class was teaming up with, at the time, what did I say? Habitat for Community, was it? Habitat for Community. And they were getting ready to repurpose an old barracks out there at C.S.U.M.B. And so as we were paired up in these groups. So I was in a group of 3. It was myself and 2 other students. And our instructions were to go into the building, bring out any garbage that you find, and dump it in this big dumpster out front. So that was the instructions. That was what we were going to do. We were going to get community credit for it, and it all applies to go towards our graduation. So we were pretty stoked. So we get into the building. Now, before we get into the building, in my memory, I recall it was my group and 4 other groups. And some of these groups were groups of 2. The largest group was a group of 4. So there's 4 groups going in. I'm part of a group of 3. We go into this one room, and there's just, from floor to ceiling, boxes in that room. And we're just like, of course we would get the room that has the most junk in it, you know. I was like, all right. So one of my student partners, and one of the guys went over there to the boxes and like, hey, let's look in it and see what's in there first. We look in it, and all these boxes had T-shirts, and the T-shirts were the inaugural opening of the school. And it had President Bill Clinton's name on it and everything, in the year when the school opened and all that. And they were just sitting there. And we're like, oh man, we can totally sell these shirts and make some money. And you know, we had all these crazy ideas. So we're like hauling these boxes of shirts out. Boom, boom, you know, out to the front lawn. We're like, I don't think we can throw them away because they're in good condition. They're brand new. And as we get to emptying out the room, we started to kind of get like this weird feeling of like we're not alone. And it was kind of, we got that feeling only because as we're clearing the room out, the room became bigger and bigger and bigger because there was less stuff in it. So we're just kind of like, oh, okay, it's kind of creepy in here. You know, the walls are in bad shape, the paint's chipping, the floor looked pretty beat up underneath all those boxes. We're like, oh yeah, this is kind of a scene of a scary movie. And so, you know, we're in there and we're emptying it out, but there was one moment where we're just getting ready to take the last load out. And again, you know, in my head, I thought we went in there. It was 4 or 5 groups of us that went into that building. So I'm thinking nothing of the sort of paranormal, ghosts, nothing. I'm just like, I hear noises down the hall. I'm thinking it's another group. They probably found a bunch of stuff too. Whatever. So we're taking the last load out. And I look over and I'm talking to the other student partners that I'm partnered up with. And I was like, hey, maybe we should go tell the other group that's in there that the teacher told us that it's time to go. And they're like, yeah, absolutely, let's go do that first before we leave. And so we walk down the hall, because again, we're hearing clank, 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 you know, stuff shuffling, moving around. We get all the way down to the hall. It's I don't know, it's an old army barrack, I guess, or an old building. All the doors were open except for the one. And that's why we're like, oh, they're in this room because that's where the noise is coming from. They must have closed the door, whatever. So we walk in, open the door. I'm expecting to see people. My student partners are expecting to see people, and it's empty. Nobody's in there. There's nothing in the room. The windows were closed. I mean, just imagine a bare room, right? And we're like, we look at each other like, you heard that, right? And like, yes, I heard the shuffling, like furniture moving kind of sound, something sliding on the floor. And from that point, and like again, it was at the end of the hall, the last room, of course. So we turned back around and we checked every single room from that on. And like again, they're all open. There's nobody in there. You know, there's a couple of like sofas or office desks in some of them, but nothing that was dragged. It's just there. We're just like tripping out, like, you heard all that noise? Yep, I heard all that noise. I was like, okay, I'm not going crazy. You heard it too. You heard it too. Yep. And I said, well, what happened to the other groups that came in with us? One of my student partners was like, well, we were the only ones that chose this building. I was like, no, we had other people behind us. And the other guy that was with us, he goes, yeah, I saw them too. And there was like, yes, no, I'm thinking I'm going crazy, right? And we get out to the front lawn where we were stacking all these boxes of T-shirts that we found, and we told the professor, was like, hey, was there any other students in there besides us? He's like, oh no, that was just for you guys because it was the closest building to us. Nobody went in behind you. The rest of the group was out here. We were waiting for you guys to get done. And we're like, we all three of us, like, we just looked at it and we just started laughing. But I knew all of us were thinking the same thing, like, what the hell did we just hear or experience? We don't know, you know. Because, you know, as a student going to C.S.U.M.B, you hear all of these ghost stories about certain buildings you don't want to go into because they're haunted, or they're too dangerous to even be in there. They're, you know, just falling apart, you know, stuff like that. So that was one time that I could recall as an adult experiencing something like that. You know, that's like, again, I can't say it's paranormal, but I will say it's super strange and creepy. You know, super strange and creepy. So.